Good day, everyone. This is Paul Bailey from CAQH. Welcome to our brief webinar, our office hours, on the migration of the CAQH ProView platform to our new infrastructure. The intent of today's discussion is essentially an open Q&A with any of our customers' IT professionals to discuss any of the nuances, questions they may have about the nuances of this change and what might be required on customer systems to interface with ProView as part of this migration. By way of background, we are migrating the ProView core product, the ProView and Direct Assure product platforms, into a Microsoft Azure instance that has actually been hosting our ProView 3 products for about half a year now. ProView 3 is our groups and data quality initiatives, and we've been running production systems in this Azure instance for over 8 months now, and I feel very comfortable that it's stable and represents the future platform for us. So we are taking the rest of our legacy product platform and moving it from the more traditional co-located data center environment into this Azure network and infrastructure. This Azure infrastructure has been thoroughly reviewed by our information security auditors and is SOC 2 certified and is undergoing high trust certification at this time. Imagine as healthcare IT professionals, you're probably aware of the fact that high trust certification is only applied after your platform is actually in production, but we are on the road to high trust certification with this environment. The scope of the changes, I think the main things we wanted to let you know about were potential changes you'll need to make to your interfaces to our systems, potentially to your networks in order to access those interfaces. So sort of speaking off the bullet points on this slide, all of our ProView and Direct Assure products are migrating and will be affected by this change. Our verified product line is not affected by this change. It is currently hosted in a different network and it is not moving at this time. So these changes do not apply to our verified product or any of our other products. All of ProView components, portals, API interfaces, and the SFTP server used to exchange bulk data files will acquire new IP addresses as part of this move. In lieu of that, or because of that, you're going to need to update any configurations you may have in your systems if they are referencing hard-coded IP references. Those IP addresses will change. That said, I hope you're not using hard-coded IP references. We recommend the use of DNS names for all interface to our systems. And if you see the sub-bullets in the slide, it indicates the host names or URLs that you should be using to interface with our systems. The production platform, which is what I'm sure you're all interfaced to, it's got a set of URLs, and there's also a demo platform which some of our customers utilize for integration testing, sometimes some training. There's a subset of our customers who are actually interfaced, have their test systems interfaced to our demo system, and the demo URLs are called out there. Those demo URLs are new. Those host names are changing as part of this migration. It's not necessarily driven by the change to the platform, but it was a change we decided we wanted to make for security and segmentation purposes. It was sort of on our to-do list anyway, so we decided to make that change concurrent with the migration of the demo platform. You'll notice that they are now residing in a nonprod.caqh.org subdomain. The next bullet lists our new IP address ranges. If you have firewall rules that control outbound access from your data center or from your networks, which a lot of secure data center environments will, they're not going to allow ubiquitous outbound connectivity to anyone on the internet. They'll only allow explicitly allowed routes out. These are our new IP address ranges. They are, of course, expressed in CIDR block network ranges. We would recommend that you should configure your firewall rules to allow access to these entire network ranges because of the nature of how Azure is some of the dynamic networking platform. None of our services will reside at a single fixed address anymore. They can potentially shift amongst the addresses in these rather small network ranges that you see listed here. We recommend that you configure any access control lists or firewall rules, routes that you have in your system to allow your production systems to interface to both our production and disaster recovery ranges that are listed here. For the obvious reason that if we, God forbid, experienced any kind of disaster and failed over to our DR site, that your interfaces would be able to simply fail over automatically to that platform and continue operating with no manual intervention on your part. If you do in fact have an interface between your non-production systems in our demo or training environment, you will want to configure them to gain access to that third network range that's listed there. Lastly, another subtle change that's occurring as part of this migration is we are going to be changing up our mail relay mechanism. We today rely on a SMTP relay provided by our legacy data center provider. That service is not really available to us in the new environment, so we will be using SendGrid, if you're not familiar with them, an enterprise class email relay service as our SMTP relay service going forward. The fact of the matter is that most of our paying organization customers don't really receive much in the way of any workflow-related emails from our systems, so you are probably not directly impacted by this at all. We generate large volumes of emails to the providers that are in ProView, and they are potentially impacted by it. As you can imagine, that's just sort of a potential spam filter trip up that can happen for those users. We are making an effort to communicate to those end users through our typical provider communication mechanisms, be it some bulletins as well as some messaging on the portal prior to the change. But of course, there's a limited amount we can do to address the very heterogeneous community of over 1 million providers that we have using their various mail systems to receive email. But we don't really anticipate that that will be very disruptive, since the structure of our emails, the content in them, the sending name, and the content that's being sent to them is essentially unchanged. But we just thought we would call it out to you since it is a change that's happening here. The next slide refers to the dates of our changes. We are actually migrating that demo system this weekend on Friday afternoon, starting at 3 p.m. That change has been communicated directly and specifically to any user that had an account on that system, in addition to the more generalized broadcast emails that you have all received through our colleagues in our marketing and communications department. We sent emails to the specific email addresses for user accounts on that demo platform. Of course, many of those are sort of role account addresses for either the IT department or the customer service department of those customers. In some cases, they were quite obviously IT service accounts or individuals. So the point being, if users were using the demo platform, they received an email at the email address of record for that account. So they should hopefully be clued into that. That change will be launched on Friday afternoon, late in the business day, and should be completed that evening. But of course, if there's any unexpected issues that float up during the migration need remediation, we are sort of reserving the right to work on them throughout the weekend, but we expect the demo environment will be stable by Sunday night. And then less than a month out now, on the weekend of June 15th through the 16th, we will be migrating the production platform. We anticipate taking an outage from approximately midnight Friday night, Saturday morning, and initiating that migration through the weekend with the plan that it will be completed by Sunday night, and that our normal extract processes will run overnight Sunday, and the platform will be available and data will be presented as expected on Monday morning in our new home in Azure. So that's it in a nutshell. That's what we're doing, when we're doing it, what impact we think it will have on you as customers that interface to our system. And with all that said, I'll open the floor to questions. And I see the first question we have from Shell Davis is, can you get a copy of the slide deck? And most definitely, Maggie or Miranda, I can rely upon you to get that to those users? Okay, yes. So I will relay the slide deck to anyone who wants it through our marketing colleagues. All right, anybody else? Any other questions, concerns? Let's see, new question. Does the user ID password for demo, or will the, I guess that's, will the user ID and password for demo be retained? So yes, or no, I should say, there will be no change to accounts, credentials, IDs, or passwords. This is sort of a, what we call lift and shift move. And so the applications, the configurations, and the data for the ProView and Direct Assure platform are coming over 100% intact. So there'll be no changes to the user interface, the user experience, to credentials, to the data that you may have loaded in the system. That should all be coming over 100% identically intact. Is this going to affect the Direct Assure 2.0 APIs? Yes, they are in scope of the change. So the Direct Assure platform is part of this migration. Again, the network ranges that you want to look at are impacted there. You'll need to adopt the new network ranges on your firewall rules. Your host names should remain the same for your interfaces. Is sanctions track impacted? I believe so. Sanctions track is part of this platform. I'm going to have to verify that for you. The demo capacity. The demo, I will just speak to that sort of up front. The capacity or performance of the demo platform has been a bit of a challenge for us lately. It's been the subject of some separate communication with users of that platform. It is being re-platformed onto the Azure platform. We anticipate that it has been sized the same or logically equivalent as the platform it runs on today in a traditional VMware infrastructure. We are not looking to change that capacity substantially. We are performance testing the platform, and we expect that it will operate essentially on an equal or better basis. There has been some question and concerns lately from customers who've sort of been overwhelming our demo platform. We are looking at ways to address that, but any changes to demo capacity are not a planned part of this change. Any change to a simple TSVs and verified? There is no change to verified whatsoever for this platform. I'll say, other than the fact that I believe that verified files are deposited on the ProView SFTP server, and that is moving. Can we get the link to today's recording? Yes, we will provide a link for today's recording along with the slide deck. And of course, if you have any questions or concerns that arise after this meeting that you would like us to address, you can get in touch with me through your account manager. Okay, well, I think we can probably wrap it up. Folks, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the office hours, or the office quarter hour here. Do feel free to get in touch with us through your account manager if you have any additional questions, or if there's anything we can do to address your concerns about this migration. We'll make the slide deck and today's recording available to you. We'll send that to the same channel as the original message. And I hope you have a great day. Thanks very much.